Hello, this is Tomonori, your instructor for Japanese 103. Today we'll talk about the volitional form. Okay, the volitional form is quite different from the Japanese grammar we covered in the class so far. It is one of the conjugation form in Japanese, so it is similar to the like plain short form, long form, potential form, and negation, like short negation. So these are like things we use, like te form, ta form. So these are all conjugations, and volitional form is one of them. Okay. The volitional form has its own meaning, which is intention, volition, right? So the volitional form by itself, if it's used, it implies your intention about the action. Okay, so let's start with the example. 私がコーヒーを飲もう。私がコーヒーを飲もう。So this is the volitional form. So this means I will or I intend to drink coffee. 私が寿司を食べよう。私が寿司を食べよう。Again, this is the volitional form, so this means I intend to eat sushi, or I will intend to sushi. Volitional form is often used with ka, the question marker ka. When it's used, it becomes very similar to the masho or mashoka. So in a way, volitional form is actually very close to masho. If you say 食べましょう or 飲みましょう, that implies suggestions, right? So let's do it together. 食べましょう is let's eat together, or 飲みましょう is let's drink together. The tiny difference is the volitional form, it just implies your intention only. So it's not really suggestion. But when it's used with ka, that becomes suggestion. So it's almost the same as masho. So if you say 私がコーヒーを飲もうか、私がコーヒーを飲もうか, it suggests that I drink coffee. So it becomes very strong suggestion. Let me drink. So it's something similar to let me drink coffee for you. Or 私が寿司を食べようか、私が寿司を食べようか is a let me eat sushi for you. So it suggests or offers some assistance, or it offers the service for someone else. Okay, so since that this is a conjugation, we have to think about the three different verb types, which is do verb, u verb, and irregular verbs. And a do verb is always easy. The rule for do verbs is to change do to yo. Do to yo. So 食べる, you change the last do to yo. Yo. Okay, so 食べる becomes 食べよう. 寝る becomes 寝よう. 見る becomes 見よう. 開ける becomes 開けよう. 起きる becomes 起きよう. Okay, so if it's a do verb, just change do to yo. Okay. Irregular verbs, you just have to know two irregular verbs in Japanese, kuru and suru, and they're irregular, so you just have to memorize the form. Volitional form of kuru is koyo, and volitional form of suru is shio. Okay. If it's a u verb, all u verb ends with u sound, right? In the short form, they always ends with u sound. You change that u sound to o. So 行く the last U sound becomes O, so 行こう。話す、話そう。買う、買おう。泳ぐ、泳ごう。遊ぶ、遊ぼう。待つ、待とう。読む、読もう。死ぬ、死のう。取る、取ろう。Okay? So these are the conjugation patterns for volitional form. But it's actually volitional form is the last conjugation patterns that you have to know, and that sort of completes that whole patterns. Okay, so let me show what I mean. So always the conjugation, the problem is the verb, right? Verb has so many different rules. So this is where the things gets very difficult. But now you can talk about the conjugation patterns of verb at much more systematic manner. So again, if it's a verb, the short form always ends with U sound. So this line is reserved for short form. For example, 会う、書く、話す、待つ、死ぬ、遊ぶ、読む、帰る。So this line is always a short form of verb. Okay. If you want to change the short form to long form, you go up here. Okay. 会う becomes 会います。書く is 書きます。話す is 話します。待つ、待ちます。死ぬ、死にます。遊ぶ、遊びます。読む、読みます。帰る、帰ります。So this line is reserved for long form. And if you want to negate the short form, you go up here. 会う becomes 会わない。For some reason, we've swapped these. So it goes all the way here. 会わない。書く、書かない。話す、話さない。待つ、待たない。死ぬ、死なない。遊ぶ、遊ばない。読む、読まない。帰る、帰らない。Okay. So again, this line is reserved for short negative. Okay. And we did the two new conjugation in this class. The first one we did is potential form, which is this line. Okay. 会う、会える、書く、書ける、話す、話せる、待つ、待てる、死ぬ、死ねる、遊ぶ、遊べる、読む、読める、帰る、帰れる。Okay. So this one is for potential form. And we had this last line, which is reserved for volitional form. Right. 会う、会おう、書く、書こう、話す、話そう、待つ、待とう、死ぬ、死のう、遊ぶ、遊ぼう、読む、読もう、帰る、帰ろう。Okay? So you exhausted all the vowels, which means there's no more conjugation. So you have only this many conjugations in Japanese, and that's pretty much it. So volitional form is the last conjugation you have to know in Japanese. Okay, In terms of the usage, it's the same as ましょう. So nothing much new. So instead of saying ましょう, you can say, you can use the volitional form. So you can say things like, ゲームをしよう。あ、違うな。ゲームをしよう。ゲームをしよう。映画を見よう。料理をしよう。ピクニックしよう。And things like that. So, you can you could have just said ゲームをしましょう or ピクニックしましょう. It's almost the same as しましょう. Okay, so you have a few pictures here and translation and English to Japanese translation as well. Okay, so if you have questions, please reach out to me anytime.